How does this work? How can it like? Uh, Let me. Does it take over the image? Ow! Shut up. We have no clue. So now the question is, I set up my camera, but how do I use it in here? Apparently, I cannot do that. Let's see. Oh, so the other screen is live, but I don't know why. Okay. So everyone on this screen, go watch the other screen because that's the camera. I don't know how to blend it in here. I have no clue. I might take you through that later on. I mean, who cares? So go to the other screen if you want to see how the rest is built. Oh, it's a nice beer in the image as well. Nice. See you over there. I'll stop this stream. So I'll post it on Facebook as well. Let's disable the music for now. I mean, it's fine. Let's post it on Facebook as well, real quick. Just some people around. Not, not. Time neutral, this kind of stuff. So don't shoot the mess. So this other stream, I'll just get to it, I guess. I won't be able to see chats when I'm working over there. So I'll just walk back every now and then. Yeah, well, YouTube does change. So I'll walk over to the other camera. It is weird. And I disable the old screen then because okay, so I'll end this screen. See ya on the other screen. So, let's add some light here. It's not that dark, but still. Hey, puss. Okay, so get the beer out of the way. What's up? First off, I need to clean this piece of glass because I prepared all kinds of foils, but I forgot I bought 2 new foils that had 23 micron of mylar and one that had 12, I thought, but it's also 23. Or what was it? No, it's 24 micron aluminium on 12 micron mylar, and the other one is 24-23. And I thought I had like 12 on 12, which I didn't buy, which is stupid, but it's gonna be fine. I'm gonna use the 24-12 to try in this case, but I made a lot of coupons for the other size. So now stuff here. Now I need to grab the correct roll in this case. I wrote it down this time. So this is the correct foil. It's a huge roll. Let's wet this a little bit. Is this in screen? Yeah, probably. In frame. That's a dry sponge. This is my wettening sponge. Just water with some soap, as you are able to see. Oh, it doesn't even fit. I hate this thing. Left some crap there. I'm not gonna cut out gazillion of those. I mean, I don't think you want to watch me stock on this kind of stuff. So I'm just gonna prepare 2 foils. So I used some 120 grams A4 paper sized paper. I want to actually put them like this, and the reason is that otherwise the corners will curl up and block. It's gonna annoy the printer. So I need a little bit more room. The printer is really picky about everything. So I made some nice dents here. This will fit. I'm gonna use some of this kind of glue. Use a paper that can get dirty without problem. And just apply some of this stuff. Glue it down here. And cut it free. Oh! I was afraid that would happen. Even using a straight edge, and I managed to make this curve. It's quite an achievement. Oh fuck. If this is gonna happen, yeah, this is what gonna. Okay. It's gonna be decided to be a bitch. Might be that my knife is not as sharp as I thought it would be. So let's try this. I'm gonna do two because this is, as you can see, it's not a lot of work, but I know what happens if I only do one. I fuck up one and I can start all over again. So. Reason I do this is the printer has it's easier to grab the aluminum foil. Otherwise, it just goes everywhere where it pleases. It's just not working. This knife is I used it too much. should have replacements, but don't know where. So this is 50 meters of this stuff, and it's 1 meter wide, so... Holy shit, it's like 50 square meters of this crap, and I only used 2 A4 paper-sized thingies. So I need to clean the aluminum foil. First gonna clean off this because who's calling me? It's a friend of mine, but I cannot be calling right now. That's the thing. I'll just give it a slight scuff. If you want to ask shit, just put it in the chat, because I have to wait for the printer to warm up as well as the etching to warm up. I just thought about that. It's well, I did the same like 6 hours ago, but I don't think the etching is still warm. Using some alcohol, too much. So I'll just warm up the printer and the etching, and I'll get back to my computer then in the meanwhile. Probably can ditch the power for the phone real quick. Wake up.
Baby, can't you see I'm calling? I'm kind of you, so we're on one day. You're dangerous, I'm loving it. Can't escape, I can't wait. I need a hit, but I can make it. You're dangerous, I'm loving it.
got my foil.
To give you I took a sip, but my candles come slowly.
Nice. Some music. This is so fucking weird. It's endless. So I'm gonna wait for the printer to warm up. I'll just smoke a cigarette in the meanwhile, while I wait. It's not gonna take forever, but it takes a little bit of time. Let me see how far it is. Yeah, so 60%, so a little bit more. If I plug in the printer, the sound stops. Oh, not today. Weird. Typical Dutch, forgets to warm up. What do you mean by that? I was pretty okay with warming up. Yeah, Puss. I'll give her something to eat because otherwise we're listening to Puss all the time. So I added some water to. Let me put this down. So the etchant is sitting in another bin, which has hot water. At least now it has. So I'm waiting for it to warm up the etchant, and then the printer is ready, hopefully, and we can start. Check here, yes, for sure. To replace the big guns. Well, I don't know if I ever do. I probably will, but I don't know. Making something huge, bigger, I don't know. Still waiting for someone that is just wanting a huge motherfucker, just for fun and giggles. Oh, so it makes sense to make it because I don't really need to have such a huge beaker. But I will combine it with the ribbon I made earlier. But then longer, that's the idea. And maybe a mid-range if it's needed, but I'm not sure if it is. I think it might help having a mid-range, but... Hey, my sound cut out. Oh, it didn't. Printer is ready, by the way. Do you ever think about a build? Oh, like a timpani. Well, it is kind of like a timpani. If I use a mid-range, then... Well, a timpani doesn't even use a mid-range. Well, some do, but the 1D only has this tweeter mid-range thingy. which is more suited for a mid-range, I think, than a tweeter. But multiple panels, yeah. Last time I checked, no one actually wanted a 3 panels big speaker. At least that's what happened with mine. They sounded nice, but they're way too big for my room. So you have to like have a huge room, and then it might be, you know, suited. I don't know. Well, maybe there is some market for it, but it's not as big. Also, prices skyrocket then. You know, I want to like make something rather affordable. But I'll make something big for sure. Just for fun. I mean, I can't guarantee it's gonna be nice. Let's print. Yeah, no problem. And welcome. Nice you're looking. You're watching, I mean. On the phone itself. So I feed it in a little bit by hand because the mechanism to do it is fun. Still needs help. That's okay, that's nice. Puss, get out of the way. Go! Oh. One of the tripod legs decided to become smaller. So this is warming up, hopefully. What I'm gonna do, add some water in here to get rid of the paper. Let me see if I can just... Well, the ribbon is not that hard to do. Thanks. Thanks. I'm glad you like it. I mean, I think there are two camps. People that do like this kind of all over the place method, compared to people that just want ultra high-end, pristine, gold-plated crap. And especially don't like people smoking in front of the camera. It's a sin, apparently. I'm just waiting for the glue to dissolve. Hello from Russia, hello. It's funny, it's from all over the place. It's really cool. The printer is very old one. What do you do if the printer is going broken? Do you have a plan B? Yeah, I thought about it today. I don't actually have a plan B. I need a new printer. Well, not a new one, because
I'm stuffing in aluminium foil, so I'm not sure how long a printer lasts if you put aluminium in there instead of paper. So I want to buy a second-hand one, or the same model, or the Color Cube, which is a little bit newer model, like a few years newer, but also out of production. But uh, just today I thought I have to like keep track of the second-hand sites to buy one of these if something comes along, because it won't take long before they're all on the scrapyard, I think, which is a waste because people don't have a clue what they can do with this kind of printer. Czech Republic also in the house. Hello, hello. A man with a wait. Magnaban, a man with an idea, build it on the cheap. Yeah, the story of Magnaban is funny indeed. I think he worked somewhere else, and he worked at 3M, I believe. Then he decided to make speakers with the rubber magnet, which I guess they produced back then. But then again, I think all the magnets came from Arnold Magnetics, but I don't know, maybe they're like interweaved or something. I don't know. So they should be able, or I should be able, to just separate the paper from the foil now. So that's good. Then I made this, it's HPL, but I painted it red. And why? I wanted to paint it white, but I didn't have white spray glue. And I want to be able to see if the etching is done. And before it was like dark. And you cannot see. I mean, it's black on black. It's hard to see if the etching is done there. So I'm not sure if this works because this is gonna be the first time. Let's see how much paint will chip off. I'll just dump it on here. Dry it off a little bit because I'm gonna use some tape to mask this part, to not like completely ruin my etching. I did clean the printer today because it had like a severe ugly stripe in the middle. And now it seems fixed, so that's good. It did cost me probably like €7 of ink to do so, but since I remelt the ink anyways, it doesn't really matter until it is broken, of course. Okay. So let's see if anyone said anything. Probably there is something. Yeah. What I'm doing high-end, well. Nikki, do you trying to make a ribbon microphone? Is it about the same technique that you used to make tweeters? Well, I am making a tweeter. So not a microphone. But they do, if you make a ribbon at least, it shares the same technology. It's exactly the same but reversed. That and a mic uses very thin aluminum foil, and then uses a transformer to step it up to a suitable impedance. You can have this with tiny tweeters as well, ribbon tweeters. The ribbons I made, usually the goal is to make the impedance as high so it is suitable for a amplifier without any transformer. Day is coming, you make an insane model. Well, I hope so, but Bryak, is that your name? I'm not sure. I might mispronounce it, I guess. Siberia. Well, hello. What do you think of 9-micron foil tweeter? Well, 9 is really nice. The tweeter I'm gonna make today is really heavy. So people are always shooting for low mass, but actually this is 12 micron mylar and 24 micron aluminium foil. And there is glue as well, so it might be thicker even. It will reach 20K. Normally I do tension the foil. You need to tension it rather hard to get rid of resonances and such. But this build I'm gonna do right now is something I didn't show before. And since there are so many on this foil, I'm not able to tension this. So this is gonna be a build without any tension. I'm gonna use something different. It's gonna be a sort of ribbon slash planar magnetic in between thingy. That's why I redesigned this coil, so I can cut it off easily without cutting out. Let me see. It's not a good example. I got none. I'll show you later on. Learn. Like coil design, well, it's just, you know, just draw some stuff. I mean, after a while, you kind of know what works and not. In this case, it's kind of, I didn't like even check how much impedance I would end up with in this case. So this is gonna be like really low impedance, like 2 ohms or something, my guess. Shall we gamble? 2 ohms? No, I know I did something before this one and it ended up 1.6, so I think it's in the region of 2 ohms, maybe less. This is just too small. I'm not gonna push this down because it's gonna be annoying when I have to take it off. I mean, this is normally what you would do, but so I do leave a little bit of aluminium so you know the outline of the coil when you cut it. Otherwise, you don't have a clue where it starts and stops. And you're cutting actually in the coil itself. I hope this red paint works, because it's gonna be in a green solution, so for all I know, it's not visible at all. I'll answer some questions after I dumped it in, because otherwise I will never finish today. So it's time for gloves. This is water, it's not, or it should not contain, I don't know actually, I assume the water vapor is condensing on this and not so much the copper sulfate. I hope. Otherwise I'm just spraying copper sulfate all over my countertop, which would not be really nice. So, some gloves. Remove this paper. I'm gonna pre-fill this with some water. It needs to eat through 25 microns, so it's quite a lot. Still bubbling, bubbling, bubbling. I only stop when the bubbling stops. Still, it's always a question if everything is etched. I don't think it's it's as hot as it should be. So it might be going slower. I'll take it a little bit longer because I don't want under-etched stuff. I'd rather have it over-etched in this case, because if it's under-etched I can throw it away. So if it's shorted somewhere, I cannot use it. But I don't see any major bubbling anymore. Can you see that as well? I think so. So I'll take it out. This sponge is not used for anything else than doing this. So don't worry, I won't die. Well, I will in the end, but... Does the red work? Well, by the looks of it, I can see something, but the problem is that the goo that comes off it is also red. So I might need white. So it's not a real win. It works better than black, but still. You see? Well, I'll just leave it in here a little bit so the tape will lose some grip, so I can just remove it without like me pulling on tape. It's another trick to get them off without having dirty fingers. Doing it halfway, then do the other one. Yay, clean fingers. For once. So this is a moment where I just wait, have a cigarette and drink a beer. So if you got any questions, I'll scroll back as well. Maybe I can answer something if I can. Let me get something to smoke. So I see my internet connection is kind of acting up. So I'm gonna switch to mobile if I can. There we are. Let me see. Problem is with Mylar, I can't find it anywhere. You can get it on eBay. And you can also find it at freeflightsupplies.co.uk. Well, the source for this kind of Mylar I cannot tell you, but just Mylar without aluminium is, well, you can get from the source I just mentioned. How long does it take to etch one? Well, the etchant, as you could see, was really fast. It lasted like, I think 1/10 of a cigarette. Maybe 1/10 of a beer as well. No, 1/20. Depends on the beer size as well. But from start to finish, as you, well, might have noticed, it takes quite a lot of time if if you have to redesign it, it takes a lot of time. Every tiny thing you have to change, you have to redo everything. So, and in this case, I need to make the frames as well again. So that's another part. Some CNCing. But I'll take a cigarette first. Everyone just leaves straight away. Oh no, I don't see anything moving. And that's 10. Might just move some stuff around so people are not leaving. If they do, then they do. Who doesn't want to look at a dirty sink? It's my favorite. After sex cigarette. Well, I hope sex is better, or I know sex is better than this dirty stuff. Well, let's try to get the tape off. Still quite stuck. There goes my paint. Didn't clean it at all. This usually works out better. So. Yeah. Let me see. Yeah, indeed, Nikki. The RC stuff, that's the free flight thingy as well. So it has for covering of wings for RC models, has loads of stuff. All different kind of stuff. Ultralight model aircraft, space blankets are good. I think most space blankets are thicker than 12, I think. And it has, of course, this metallized stuff like aluminium, but so thin it's not useful for anything except for removing it. Yeah, that's satisfying, yeah. I think the part where you just put on the stuff and it just like loosens up a little bit, you can see the coil. As you can see, normally my coils are way shinier, but that's because I cleaned it. Like, it's also not perfectly clean, but I mean, I cleaned it before with like scuffing it up, so it gets dull, and it remains dull, of course. It's not polished. It's not really needed either, but I'm just taking my time in between, if you don't mind, because I've been doing this from 11 o'clock, I think, and then I decided to make a video, which is kind of, you know. So I'll take my time. Let's measure it. 2 ohms I hoped for. Higher is cool with me. No fucking way. Well, it is 2 ohm. At least that one. 1.92 ohms. Ooh, this is considerably lower. So something is going on there. This is 2 ohms. Also lower. Also lower. So now the question is, which one is correct and which one failed? It's good to know, because then I might need to change stuff up. So I'm looking for I'll put it towards the window and see what's happening. Yeah. So that was what I was afraid of when I said the etchant is not hot enough. And I want it to be over etched instead of under etched. The ones that are measuring lower, like 1.5, are under etched, and you cannot see it, but in between these coils here, there are like tiny, really tiny pieces left, which shorts it out, and hence the resistance or impedance is lower than it should be. So I'm gonna mark them, because otherwise, so this one is correct. This one is correct. This one is a fail. This one is a fail. This one is a fail. And this one is a fail. So that's rather bad, but it looks... So it's one side that etched better. That's funny. Well, 2 out of 6. Why not? It's bad. But okay for me. But these are all fucked, so I'm gonna use a pen or something. but I know where it failed, so I can like, you know, it's like here, there, and there. Well, and the same for the other ones. So I this one is empty, I think. So if I change that, I have more of a chance that whatever, if the etchant is not hot enough, it still will manage to do, well, come close to 2 ohms instead of 1.1 or 1.5. So I need to fix those. I need to write it down actually, but well. So now I'm gonna make a frame because yeah. Let me check the chat real quick. Space blankets G2. Yeah, the stuff for bouquets are is a little bit thick, but if you just want to try some stuff, you can definitely use it. Why not? It's really wrinkly. You can also find it at stores where you can wrap your own crap into a present. For instance, they have like huge rolls of stuff. You can just borrow a few meters. On the money, yeah, indeed. You will get exactly this. Thanks. That's okay. It's just that I was looking for it like for a gazillion years to find a decent lemonade, as did like everyone on DIY audio. And the same goes for magnets. It's funny that if you have a channel where you make stuff, then people say, "Hey, where did you buy this? Where did you buy that?" And then just buy it, you know. But it feels a bit like, "Hey, why don't you look up your stuff a little bit on your own?" It's the reason why I decided, okay, this is one thing I'm not gonna share: my magnet source and my mylar. But yeah, well, anyhow, I mean, if you find it, you find it, and that's perfectly fine. I mean, that's good. It's just that some people, I'm not talking about you guys, but some people ask like really like, where did you get it? Can you show me your drawing? Can you send me this? Can you do this, that, and that? It sounds more like I'll do all the work and you just redo it. Just experiment yourself. And if you're really interested, you will put some hours in to look for some stuff. That's my opinion, at least. Puss, what's up? Let's CNC. I'll grab my card. So I have to put the program on the SD card and then I'll be back. Let's go outside. I was busy cleaning my garden. It's still a mess. But over there it looks better. There was a huge tree there that need to be removed. So, but I cannot get rid of all the wood, so it takes time. Yep. This should work even when I'm in the shed. It's funny. So I'm gonna close this program, open the new one. It's called Frame, so we exactly know what it is. Not really, but gonna move the CNC to a proper place to cut. Zero X, Y, Z axis should be fine. Ooh, I just thought of something. This usually happens after I cut it, so I praise myself lucky. The lines I made for the magnets to sit in this case, normally they're not all the way through. This time they should be all the way through, so I'll have to change them. Be right back. Normally I just cut it and then discover I fucked up. So, I'm back. So I have to reload it, and there's a funny bug in Mac 3 that you have to close the previous file if it has the same name, otherwise it doesn't reload it. So you'll be cutting the same stuff all over the place every time, even if you change stuff. So now I changed it, it should cut all the way through, but it always remains a question if it functions the way I planned it. So let's see. Let me clean this up a little bit because it's kind of a mess. Hope there are no tiny parts here. Oh, it's not plugged in. That's nice. These screws are done for me. Apparently. I like, sorry. Sorry, wait for the noise to... I like HPL, which is this material. Reason is it's rather stable. It's really, well, quite stiff. And you can get it in, well, all kinds of different sizes. I got 3, 4, 6, 8, 12. But I never needed that big of stuff. So the 3 and 4 is my go-to, especially this one because it's really nice. It has this backing, it looks really good. So it's not needed for what I'm doing right now, but it's the only 4mm I got right now. Yeah, I love this material. You can also like tap it, so you can put screws in it and such. That's really nice. So let's continue. Enjoy the noise. So first we're gonna make the pocket. So this part. Well, we, he, or she, whatever. So there were a few things I didn't need to do. So it took way longer than it should have. But well. Well, hello, new viewer. Let's wait outside. This noise. You cannot see. Yeah, you're done. So it's getting dark in here. Time to move inside. I need this one as well. Hi, boys. I'm just collecting my stuff. The stuff I need. This one. We need magnets, of course. They're tiny ones. Let me put this one back on power and as well use Wi-Fi or Wi-Fi before I run down all my data. So, could be that I'm gone for like 1 second, 1 moment. Pop. I need one more thing. I needed two things actually. I needed my reference magnet, which sounds really stupid, but it's to like have all the panels the same, so I don't change polarity all of a sudden. I need some more light in here actually. Is there a method? Is it visible or is it like really shitty? Quarantine FM. Puss has a name, and it's actually Cleo, but I called her Puss from the beginning. Since my beginning, that is, because I got her out of. I'm not even sure what's the name in English. Well, I have her only for 2 years now. She is quite old, and nobody wants to have her, so I took her. Or I'm not sure if no one wants to have her, but they'll go for the. So, not sure if it's visible, but here's the spacing, and then you got these holes for the magnets. I'm not even sure if it fits. Let's see if it fits. Ooh. I really. Oh. There might be trouble. Oh, I hate this. There are a few things I can do. Redo it. Or use a. I'm gonna look for an appropriate file because I'm not gonna redo it just because of this. So I got a square file. Hopefully that will do the trick. It's not like I'm only gonna use it single-ended for now. I mean, otherwise I'll be standing here the rest of the day. I'm gonna file it out a little bit. Ow. Because the magnets are square. Puss, what are you doing? She is somewhere where she is not allowed to be. But I left it open, so it's my fault. Hey, Puss. It's a real tight fit. If it ever fits. Might need a little bit more. So I have to change that as well. So my list gets longer and longer. That's what's happening when you do something for the first time. Also, there's an idea with metal that I didn't even look up. I got it. Hey Puss, what are you doing here? Yeah. Puss, can you maybe move? Oh, it's so close. I know what happens if I just ram it in. They will break. Let's try anyways. No. I wish this was different. But it isn't. There isn't even enough light for me, so I need to swap rooms. That one seems to be fitting. Really tight fit though. Oh, this might work. I think I'll manage to put them in from now on, or not. I have to stop this YouTube stuff in the background. Play music. It's like an advertisement for Scary Pockets. Although I love them, I like the music, but I'm not gonna like play their advertisement in the background. Yeah, that will fit. Took me a bit longer than I wished for, but so, are you still there, or everyone left? Yeah, so the reason indeed for the weak magnets is, in this case, openness. And the reason for that is that usually the top end will be screwed by it if you don't have enough open area. So I definitely need to adjust the program for this. But that's a future thingy. I mean, I don't even know if it works. So I might be showing you how to not make a weird kind of speaker. It's not going to be efficient. That's also a thing. I can remove this this backing, which is always a nice moment. Ooh. Ooh, it's all out of focus. Ooh. It's nice. I'll add some light in here because it's getting dark. If I can. Is this any better? I think so. Except for the burned out spot. No, well, the spot remains, so I have to film around it. Maybe here? Well, it's gonna work. It's the best I got. So, I was talking magnets. I got this one magnet that has sort of a crap on it. That's my reference. So the first magnet is going to be sitting like this. And then I'll just, so it's the other way around. So I need this side. Just turn it around. Do the remaining ones. It's kind of scary to do a design that you've never done before while everyone is watching, to be honest. I have to like push them in a little bit with something. I'll use this pencil. Since why not? I could use a hammer, but I'm afraid I'll break them. I might need to in the end. Ah. Okay. Whew. That was a lot of work. I need this countersink bit. I'm gonna do it here because I don't want to like get crap over it. The glass plate, which I already did with the filing, but so now I'm gonna take a look if I can find my metal. This I never did before, and it might not work at all, but I'm gonna use some metal bars. And the idea is, at least, they're not cut to size, as you can see. Is to just stick it on the side here. Of course, I would, in a final thing, I would glue it instead of just sliding it in the middle. But for now, I am gonna use it like this. It should be a little bit like this. But these are too big, but I'm not gonna cut them down right now. I might not even use them at all, but I want to see the difference in output. Now I could add dampening, which I normally do, but in this case I'm not gonna do that either, because we're just trying stuff. What I am gonna do is the following. Just spray down some soapy water again. Got the foils. Which one was fuck? These were fuck. I hope. It's not that well visible. Okay. I need these. Here are all other kinds of membranes, by the way. I might need some bolts or nuts. Not bolts. Where are they? Can't find them. Oh well. Let's cut these free. made a mistake here. Not really problematic, but I could left a part here that makes the next few steps easier. But I'll leave this one on in this case. Not sure if I'm gonna use it though. So we got our foil. We got our thingy. It's that thing again. Get out. So in the end, it's gonna sit like this. This is the wrong one, I believe. Yes. Oh, really? Did I? So I managed to. Do you remember when I said, yeah, I'm gonna put holes in this one as well, because otherwise I'll grab the wrong one. Well, unless right now I grabbed the wrong one. I needed this one. Fucking hell. I hate this stuff. Well, at least I am able to make a push pull since I already did it, so. This goes much faster. Should do it from this side to keep the HPL nice, but I think I already fucked that up. Ah. HPL dust. That's much faster. First time I was too careful. Oh, I am doing it wrong as well. Whoop. That was fast. A hammer would be nice. Oh, I broke my glass. That's nice. Instead of the magnet, I broke my glass. Ain't that pretty? That's okay, I got another one. So now it should be able to fit on there. Sort of like this. Okay, next step. Next step is using this double-sided sticky tape. See where I'm going? Probably are. Yeah, the material's HPL. It's funny to read what I did wrong. I think he prepared the wrong side. Insane cursing. Well, it's well, this could be where because he looks a bit like Jesus. Well, my hair was way longer, and the amount of times people called me because they wanted to make fun of me, of course, because they because there are people that are going to football on Sunday, and not my type of guys, but well, anyhow. There's a laser mark here. So now the hard part. Let me check the magnets first once more, because I don't want to. So sticking to this one, repelling from this, sticking to this one, repelling from this one, sticking to this, repelling, stucking, repelling, stucking. So that's good. But I fuck up many times. I probably will. So I didn't think of a method of aligning it yet. What I am gonna do is I corrugated a part that is not to be corrugated. So I'm gonna squish it. squish that corrugation. Now hopefully I can align it in some sort of way, method thingy. So this is a part that I didn't find a solution for as of yet. Maybe do it like this. I should think of a method of doing this, because can I see how this lined up? I think very good. Completely. I need a jig to do this. Sort of lined up. Oh yeah, magnets. Normally this part is longer, so I got something to pull on, so I might be adding a tape here. Just a removable tape so I can pull on something. I think that's a good idea. Maybe this one. Some nice orange. Might be too floppy. I'll take this one. Painter's tape. The really annoying version. The one that rips everywhere. Oops. Remove the backing. Oh, it's actually, is it? No. So you can see a part of the, oh, sorry, a part of the coil sticking out. I made it longer because of the corrugation, but I didn't know how much longer it should be. Apparently it's a little bit too long. So that's another thing I can change. Remove 5 millimeters or 8 millimeters of that stuff. How does it line up? Rather well. What do you think of that? Ah. I do need to find my balls. I don't like this stuff sticking out, but it's the way it is for now. I'll just destroy another version since I got Gazillion, and I need to reclaim all the magnets too. Why? Since they're really cheap, but since I think it's a waste to just throw them away. I think there are like hundreds around here. Rather do something useful with it. So I didn't use any damping, so that's gonna be an issue. But I didn't feel like using damping right now. And this is also a little bit on the edge of the, you know, of the spacer. It's not ideal. I might redesign that. But I needed to have the connection point all the way here. Otherwise I could not like slice it like this. Rather high resonance for this thing in this case. There's not light here. Is there any more light? That's a little bit more light. It's not insane, but well, there is something. I'm gonna close the curtains because I think it's rather weird. A guy with a camera here in front of a window. So let's, I'm just gonna dump it in. See what it does. I mean, there's nothing to lose. except for a few hours of my time. I don't have a method of like securing it at the moment, so a string it is. I can like use double-sided tape, but what I'm scared of is that I can't get it off. Does it fit even? No. Huh. I mean, might need to rethink this. It shouldn't be bigger, is it? It is bigger. So I have to create some spacers, because otherwise I'll squish the corrugation. So, well, thank God there's lying some crap on the floor here that I can use. It's this window stuff. I mean, I have to do something. So I run into this problem earlier as well. Now I need to fix it somehow without bending it too much. So it's gonna be the old clamp thing. Hopefully it doesn't clamp the whole thing to shit. I don't see anything touching it. We'll know for sure when we play one sweep. It doesn't look bad actually. Looks quite cool. I'll take you over there. See for yourself. Not that it matters how it looks, but apparently it does a little bit. So as you can see, there's a bigger trace on the top and the bottom. Idea is that because the ribbon ends there, I don't want it to resonate like crazy over there, which it will otherwise. So hopefully this works. Maybe it doesn't. Who knows? I'm not offended by the Jesus thing. I mean, I'm not the age anymore that I was when I probably was, which was stupid as well. Probably also coming out of a bar, being drunk and being annoyed by it. So now I am not so much annoyed by it. Let's disable the other music. This is really the moment that is the best of doing all of this. Either it sucks, or it's okay-ish, or it's good. It's always a nice moment. Well, not always. If it is really sucky, it isn't a nice moment. It's not going to be exactly a meter, but really, I don't need exactly a meter to see if it's completely shit. So I disable the woofer. Hypos. Let's choose a crossover to save it at least. It is a tweeter, remember. I'm gonna use a 24 dB octave filter at 500, which is of course lower than you would use it. But I'm not looking at for efficiency, so I'm not gonna measure how much watt I pump into it. I don't care. I'm just gonna do a fast response. That's not bad. That's not bad. Let me see if I got some EQ on. No, nothing. No EQ at all. I'm gonna show it, of course. It's gonna disable all the other previous measurements. Maybe I can like gate it. Gate it a little bit. Yeah. And there's a weird hole, but it's not all that bad. I can't get any lower than this. Is this even visible? Oop. Oh, it is kind of visible. Oh, wrong way. Well, that ain't bad, to be honest. Distortion looks like this, especially the top end is quite nice. There is this thing here, I'm not sure what that is. I think the resonance is higher than I would expect it. It should be lower, I think. I use different foil than my really like crappy version that I made of some other parts this afternoon. And there's some distortion here, which should be lower than this, but I'm not sure yet what that is. Could be anything, but there is no damping as well, so that might not help us at all. Shall I add some damping, see what it does, because there is nothing right now. And it should have some, at least. Do I got some? I left some heavy dampening here somewhere. I hate it when you have, I know it's here, but because I left it here. But where? So you have an insight how I work. Like really not really like nicely, a bit all over the place. Oh wait, it might be here. No, it's not. So this is a black felt and it's quite thick. So this might be a little bit too much. It's not gonna stick, of course, so I'll use a magnet or two to hold it in place. Oh, I also wonder what happens if I add the metal bars. Let's first see what this does. So the magnetic field will be stronger where it's holding the felt, so that might change something as well. So let's redo this. Ooh, well, it did something. Let's use gating of 3 I used for the previous one, so I'll use for this one as well. Ah, yeah, it does several things. I can't say I like this. Uh-huh. Ah, that's weird. I also must not forget the baffle itself does something here. But distortion does go down, but okay. Loses some output as well. But it gains some output at the top end. Not sure if that's what I want. Also, the resonance is quite high. I didn't like see exactly where it is. Let's see where it is. Let's make it 200. Never gonna be used like this, of course. But... there was clearly a resonance. Okay, so it's around 170, so it is quite low for a tweeter. Ah, weird. But it sounds also as it is like moving to against something. Let's see what that is. Yeah, that's apparently my method of mounting it. These things squeeze too hard. I need something different, like screws or something, like thumb screws. Let's see what they changed. Before, after, not much difference, but it was quite clearly hearable. I don't think you're gonna use the tweeter from 200 hertz. At least I don't hope. So let's up it up. It would be more sane to use it as a tweeter from even 1200 is ridiculous for a tweeter. 12 dB per octave. Let's see if it will manage. Well, as you can see, just a few things. Not sure what it is. Pretty sure you can hunt them down, but it's not bad at all. Still, let's add the metal. So I'm gonna remove a few of these because it becomes, the way I work, it becomes really messy. So I measure it once. So this is the result. Let's add the metal and see what it does. I don't think it does much. But who knows? So yeah, I've got the felt is in the way, of course. Well, we'll think of something. So that's one bar. That's another bar. Too bad the bars are a bit huge. Let's try and add the felt in between once more. Well, the felt is a little bit too wide now. Oop, let's see if it does anything. I have a feeling it doesn't change much. There we go. Well, still the whoop-de-doops are still there, but I can see here it looks crappier. So it also has a little bit more output. So let's do a... Huh. That looks a bit the same as it did with the felt or without felt. I'm not convinced. Not sure about you, but I don't think that's worth the effort. Maybe if... Oh, wait. I think it fell down. But could well be. I mean, it might be reflecting some of the sound, which fucks it up. Now I hear some clear resonance as well. Yeah, so it does only do this hump here, which is not useful for me at all. So no metal for me. I'd rather have it open and straight. Be gone. Another thing I wanted to try is what if I just add some magnets on the back? And then I'll read some comments because I'm doing this quite long now and I want to sit a little bit, like a few minutes, and move on. So I'm just going to add some of the magnets on top of the other ones. It's just as easy. Ta-da! I don't think the difference is going to be huge. It might create some cavity resonances. Oh, it is louder, I think. Oh, it is quite louder. Huh! 1 second. Is this correct? Okay, so that's worth the effort, I think. How much is it? It is quite a lot, actually. this is like, this hump here is like 81.7, and there it is like 86. Not bad. Just 4 dB for free. Although, you know, the point of where the distortion really settles will still be the same. It's just more efficient. Now I'm gonna sit down and do some chatting because I'm that tired. Before I look into this more, I want to smoke a cigarette, do some talking if you want. Otherwise, well, if not, that's fine. If my cable is long enough, I'll just move over to my zoom out. Stop being zoomed in. Ah, hello. Here I am again. Hi, Puss. Meow, 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 meow. Plug in this cable. So, Puss. Here, you got some food. There. There, Puss. Yes. Okay. In the shed, probably. Here it is. That's not bad at all, I think. I mean, it's not like properly tested or something, but I can assure you that having a normal planner results in far more annoying stuff. So let me read some stuff. I have to go back quite a lot, I think. So I was stuck at the single-sided, I think, by George. I think, but he prepared the wrong side. John Amazon says you're doing a great job, even with your insane cursing. Although I didn't curse as much. Oh, you thought I wrinkled the thing in the wrong direction? Yes, because for a normal ribbing, you would think I would do that the wrong way. The reason I chose the long side is so it's more stable. At least that's the idea. Also because I can use the magnets easier this way. But yeah, so if you corrugate it like in this direction, it's rather like stable, stiffy. The Jesus thing, yeah, sorry about that. Hi, John and Carla, always there. Hi from Denmark. Hello, Thompson. Now with the F word, did I say the F word? Oh no. It's funny. You were like, oh, now he's gonna fuck up. You're older than Jesus. Well, yeah. How old was Jesus actually? I don't know. I think when I had long hair, I was kind of the age of Jesus. Maybe that's why they said you look a bit like Jesus. Not because of my age. I mean, there are many people that are 25, but I'm not 25, of course. But how do you manage the DSP? Well, there's not much to manage. Remarkable flat frequency response. Yes, it's a wonder to me as well. I made like a really shitty version this afternoon because I had one membrane left from a normal, like from this kind of. I cannot see it. Let's wait for the. Yeah, so from this design, and what I did is actually just cut off this and make it a ribbon as I did right now. But I had to redesign it to make it like a bit more usable, so you don't cut off this connection point here. So yeah, that's what I did, and I thought, well, that is not sounding bad. It loses a lot of efficiency, that's for sure, because it's so wrinkly. You need far more space from magnets to foil to be able to not like run into the magnets all the time. So that's why the efficiency is quite low. But it's really amazing that if you just flop on the 9 magnets on the back, you gain 4 dB. That's really nice. I'm really pleased with that. So if you would make it push-pull, you will add like 5 dBs to 6. 6 is like theoretical, so you never know. But that would be completely awesome. But going push-pull might... First of all, it will screw up the looks I got going on right now on the front. And it might as well introduce some sort of cavity resonances and such. But I definitely should put in the damping within the magnet structure, which I normally do, but in this case I didn't because you cannot remove it anymore. So if you want to remove it because it's too much or it's annoying, it's just there. You cannot remove it without ripping the membrane. So also for the membrane, I can easily make something so you can just put it on there and not have to destroy everything. So, you know, maybe glue it to some very thin PCB material or anything thinnish, so you can just align it and, you know, do it properly instead of have to destroy everything every time. Since this one is not going off without being completely screwed. Maybe if I use a heat gun, but I doubt it. I'd be fucked. He was 33, okay. Well, when actually? When he died, or when he became Jesus? I mean, he was Jesus for 33 years already, so... John is just waiting for some food. I wish I had this. I wish I could. Yes, I just rolled my own smoke. It's really a Western style. I don't know. It's not very common in most countries to do so. It is over. Well, it's not mainstream here to roll your own smoke. Just if you don't have enough money, you do. Like I do. Howdy. Hello, George. What do you think about the distortion and the plot? It looked quite nicely, I think. Probably not perfect, but I can live with that. Dynawave. Those are those planar magnetic with wires, I think. Ain't them? Like the bit golden looking drivers. Squares. I never played with them. I think they're more suited for mid-range, I think. Yeah, from Sava Fui or yeah. Yeah, those squares. They have like several weird speakers with all these kinds of small drivers in there. Yeah, me too. 4 dB is like a lot, and which is what is also kind of weird. If you looked at the graph, the top end didn't extend all that much. It did, of course, but was mostly down low. That was weird. I didn't take a look at the distortion. Might changed as well. And I mean, still the peaks of resonance that are still there is might as well be the edge of the spacers where the mylar begins, not being like perfectly adhered or something like that, because it's of course wobbly wobbly, and I don't dare to like push it in really hard and maybe fuck up the membrane. So there, I have to think of some sort of finesse to create this membrane and then the same every time, preferably with the it's going up at the first, I don't know, when it leaves the spacer it goes up, for instance, or down, but at least sort of a consistent way of doing it. Now it's just somewhere here, so I bet we could think of something else, but still it's 2 ohms, so it is still a low impedance. Yeah, that might well be that there's it's just moving out of the magnetic field or something when it's playing the low frequencies, because it is quite far away from the magnets. I used a spacing of 2 millimeters this time from the center of the foil to the magnets. Of course, the foil is like corrugated, so it might actually be at some places only 1 millimeter, but some places it's like maybe even more than 2 millimeters, like 2.5 or 3 maybe even. So it's going zigzag from 1 millimeter spacing to a magnet to 3 millimeter, or depending on how large these corrugations are, of course, or how deep. But yeah. And I used a different foil right now as I used this morning. This morning I used also 24 micron aluminum foil, but it used 23 micron mylar, so really thick mylar. Response looks kind of almost the same actually. What I hoped with this one, with thinner mylar, was that the top end would like extend, not extend, but like be a little bit louder, and it is a little bit louder. The reason why I wanted that is because in this setup of my tiny speaker, the baffle is not big enough to like extend the low end really far, so it drops off somewhere. But if you would put this in a horn, yeah, then you need all the highs you can get, because mostly the lows will like benefit from a horn, and if the top end is not loud enough, it just like plummets. So that's why the normal planers that had like a upwards curve, if you put them in a horn, it's almost flat. So if it's flat already now in a tiny baffle, that means it will go down in a horn. So it might, the thicker foil might be more interesting for this speaker, for this particular speaker. So I don't need to IQ anything. I don't need to use DSP. There's no EQ used in this now, nothing. If I used a little bit thicker foil, the top end also plummets a little bit more, not much, but a few dB. So it's like more straight. If you would use it in a horn, then it might be useful to use, the thinner stuff. What are the best speakers you can recall ever listen to? I really have no clue. It depends. When I was a student, or like 18 or something, I started off buying some BMWs DM110Is. I thought they were the shit. And then some DM22s. And I thought those were slightly better. Then I bought some Kev Kalindas, and I thought, what the fuck? Those BMWs, they suck dick. I love my Kalindas insanely. They were really nice loudspeakers. Love it. I don't know why, but it sounds pleasing. I'm not sure if it's correct. I don't care. It was at least very pleasing. But best speakers, I think the quad ESL 63, I think, but only for a short time because they will be broken in a short time. Yeah, well, they should have been repaired, and I repaired it like half-assed, and enjoyed them for like half a year, and then problems arise again, and then I was like, I really don't want to redo this whole thing. And then I started it and made all these videos about it, but I never finished it again. It was too much work, and really, it's the most annoying. Yeah, you knew I would say quad. Well, I never listened to the 57 still. People say they sound better, but I can hardly believe they sound better than the 63. I mean, there's a lot of things wrong in the 57, especially that you're only able to listen to it if you're on your own. And I know this has a sort of quality to the sound, but I can think of many speakers that do the same, like beam like crazy, and you have the idea of even using headphones, although you're listening to speakers. But I don't think that's a great attribute of a speaker that you can only listen to it by yourself, because then just buy some headphones that will outperform them easily. Quads, yeah, they're almost all secondhand quads you buy are fucked. But my second pair I bought from a guy that said they were working, and I don't own a car, so he was friendly enough to bring them. But then, of course, when I listened to it, I said, "Yeah, sorry, but they are fucked. They're hissing. They're completely. They have to be redone completely." And he said, "Oh well, it's not that bad." I was like, "What? It is bad. It's broken." And he wanted 500 euros for it. If they are better than my ribbon tweeter, well, I don't know. People always want comparisons, and I don't know. I mean, if you look at the ribbon, they're insanely large. Uh, I think the top end might be a little bit nicer of the ribbons, maybe, and the horizontal dispersion as well. But then again, vertical dispersion is completely terrible if you compare it to this tweeter, which is also quite large for a tweeter. I think I could make them a little bit smaller than this for my purpose. Celestion. Yes, I did buy a Celestion once, like with the huge 12-inch woofers and the, I think it was paper mid-range, and I wasn't really impressed, but that might be just a bad model, I don't know. Yeah, I did take them to a show, and well, I think people were fine with it. There was a little bit of harshness in the 12K range, I believe, but I knew it was there, but there was nothing I can do about it. So, and they didn't extend as low as they could, but that's because they're here, by the way. But that's because they're not huge headphones, so the membrane is not big enough. It should be bigger. Then you have like lows to 20, 30 hertz or something. I didn't reach that. Or I did reach it, but at a too low volume. but they're still working. Every now and then I use them just to, if I'm editing or something, because my room is quite boomy. So this is a method of checking if it doesn't sound like completely wrong. Yeah, yeah. There's a reason why there are so many speakers, I think. I mean, Abby's headphones. No, no, I never heard them. What is it? Also planar magnetic, or is it something different? I'm not into headphones actually. It's funny because I made a pair because people like headphones. I don't use them very often. I did use a few, but also always cheap ones. I never really mind about really good headphones. Abyss. Abyss? What is it? Let me see. World's finest headphones. Ooh, they don't look very nice. Yeah, so they're planar magnetic, I guess. Um, but what is it? It looks like a planar magnetic. I think the ESLs are even better. If you're wanting the best headphone, then probably the Stax or something, or any other electrostatic headphone will do. It might lose it on the low end, but besides that, I think they will own. But it's the affordable pair, yeah. How much is affordable? Let's see. Headphones. Oh, Diana, which one? Version? Oh, yeah. Doesn't really matter. They're both quite affordable. 3,000 or 4,000 or 5,000. That's a decent price. Yeah. But it's also Diana version 2 premium luxury headphones. If you're having, if your product that has the line premium and luxury in the title, it's tricky. I mean, they priced it for a reason so high, not because it costs this. It's just because they want to, speak to the persons that are vulnerable for premium luxury and a huge sum of money. I mean, I hope they are good, but they should be. There's not much on the design. Too bad. But yeah. Hopefully that link goes through. Which link? I don't know. As I said, I'm not into headphones that much. I don't know, but reviewers are also kind of cannot trust them, to be honest. I mean, I think they're quite happy keeping them. Not all of them, of course, though. I guess some guys are honest, but I think it's quite hard to be honest if you're able to keep the 3,000 euros or dollar headphone that is sounding good apparently, because otherwise you wouldn't want to have it. But maybe just add a little bit on top of it how much you like it. I don't know. But yeah, headphones. I don't know. I'll stick to speakers. It's easier to measure speakers. It sounds weird. It's not even true maybe, but headphones have like a rather weird curve anyways. It's quite hard to say what is normal and what is not. Mains cable for £15,000. That's great. Did you see the video, the null tester? I forgot the name of the guy, but that's really nice. Null tester. Let me see. Null tester. Ethan Weiner. Sorry.
I'm different. Nothing.
He is like a down-to-earth, nice guy. At least I like it. I like the method he's using. Oh, I can post links. He's doing a null test on some really expensive speaker cables, and he's having a brawl with what's this old guy called that does from Bloody Blah Audio? What is it? But what's the name of the other guy that is doing some explaining? He's sitting in his office with all the test equipment. Yeah, I think so, yeah. Paul from PS Audio, yes, that's the one, yeah. So this Ethan is calling him out to say how, test your stuff with the null tester and see what's happening. Or at least saying if the result is 0 after the null test, your cable is not doing anything. And he's like, yeah, it is true, but there's also stuff we cannot measure, of course. And come on, he's just completely. He's trying to save his his business, I guess, because he's lying out of his ass. All my test equipment. What kind of test equipment? You mean in the living room? I think all cables are, mostly the same. At least unhearable differences. Unless you talk about hundreds of meters. Let me tell you this. If you go professional recording audio, for instance for film or television or for music, having a cable trolley thingy that is like 40-50 meters long that only has a mic signal going through it doesn't change a thing. Works perfectly fine. So there's no way any of this crap matters if you're talking line voltages and just a few meters of cable, or not even a meter of cable. It's complete bullshit. At higher voltage, it doesn't really matter what you use. You could use anything if it's thick enough. That's of course one thing. If it cannot handle the power, then you have a problem. But and shielded would be nice, but that's about it. And if you could use balanced, because that works really well, that would own everything. That's also funny. High-end equipment, they have like really expensive kinch connectors with really expensive cable, and they didn't even use balanced outputs, which is like in the pro world, it's like normal if you use balanced output. How can you call the other stuff high end if you don't even use balanced outputs? I mean, for normal use, it's not necessary, but in pro audio, they think it is necessary because you work with tiny signals or long runs of cable. So why not use, if you're really high end, balanced input outputs all over the place and be done with it, and use just decent cable like Kanara or Mogami or Kanara, and you're done. XLRs from Neutrik. The difference between silver and copper, yeah, well, it's your opinion. I don't think you can actually hear it, but there's only one way to try. Either do blind testing or or measure it. And if you're not gonna do both, then you're never sure. I think it doesn't really matter, but okay. John, the box on the table, the red one is a Focusrite Solo Gen 2. It's a sound card. The black box, I don't have a black box, but I have a DSP near the amplifier. And yeah, and I got a ESIMCON mic. That's about it. Nothing more. Oh, software is Room EQ Wizard. It's freeware, so it's you can download it for free, and it's a really decent program for, especially for free. I mean, I cannot ask for more. I mean, it's free. So you guys are all into cables. That's a discussion I just cannot. Well, at least you can talk about it. That's no problem at all. It's just something I don't mind. I got the cheapest ones, I think, in between. I do have from the test thing to the DSP, it's Kanara, and I made the cables myself, since why not? And then you buy some decent plugs and some good cable, really like the stuff they use in every pro thing, studio, and it's only like a few euros a meter, maybe 150 or something, maybe not even. And the plugs are like Neutrik XLRs with gold plated because it's good against corrosion. That's the only reason, not because it sounds better. And it's like 350 a piece. You know, still it can add up if you have to buy all these kinds of tiny crap, but it's not like a few $100 or euros. It's cable of maybe 30 euros or something. Yeah, well, it's, yeah. I mean, everything, everyone to their own. I mean, if you hear a difference, that's fine, But well, if I got the option to test it, then it would be really nice to test it, see if I'm fooling myself or not. But as well, you could say like, okay, I'm not even gonna test it because I'm happy the way it is now. So why ruin it? No, my speaker cables are monster cable bullshitty cables that I once, I don't know, they came with the speakers I bought, the French brand, the 1303. I forgot the brand. Well, 70s, 80s speakers. They have a weird, kind of funny design. Ellipson, I think. Ellipson 1303. Yeah, Ellipson 3003. They had these cables with them, so I used them since. Yeah, I can. I can do it right now. It's the Focus right Solo Gen 2. And a ESEMCON. And I've always forgot the ESEMCON measuring microphone. It is I bought the bulk version. This one. The mic have gone up in price. I paid $160 and now they're $250. So I don't know why, but ones and zeros. What? I hear SSD might not be. Are you referring to this video? You're joking, I hope. Ah, okay, yeah, you're joking. Yeah. So this guy thought the Hitachi one sounded better than the other brands of spinning discs. Yeah, on that mic. Oh yeah, it is quite expensive, or at least it became quite expensive. Although, yeah. But I can assure you, it's way much better than a UMIC from Mini DSP. Although if you're just beginning and just want to check some stuff, it's perfectly fine. I mean, really, I used a build it yourself microphone for a very long time, so you can. It might not be completely accurate, but at least you can see differences between the stuff you do, and that is always correct. The final result might not be completely correct, but well, in the end, a lot of people use the UMIC and build speakers with them. I had a UMIC and it is not correct. But anyhow, a lot of people enjoy them, so I don't know. I like this one much more, but it's also pricier and you need a preamp, which makes it even more pricey. So in the end, it's $350 for this setup without cabling compared to $110 for the UMIC. So it's 3 times as expensive. So you might assume it is also a little bit better. Not always the case, but in this case it is. I mean, I still buy like cheap tools as well, although I know they suck compared to the real deal. But since I only use it like a few times, or you know, it will make the cut, I still buy them every now and then and have fun with it. And sometimes you don't. Sometimes it's like really shitty, but I still got a few tools that are cheap and still work perfectly fine. Now on the stand there was that was the microphone itself, and And the preamp is the red box. It's a sound card and preamp. So it's the output for your sound as well as it is the input for the microphone. And the Solo Focusrite is like around 100 euros. So that will be $120 or something, but usually stuff is much cheaper in the US, so in the end. So this is gonna be the last cigarette, and then I'm gonna check some more on the driver. See where we are. We do have to eat somewhere as well. I mean, it's almost 10 o'clock. Yeah, the Solo, yeah. Have a nice dinner, George, and talk to you soon. Just a 3-hour stream, I just noticed. That's quite long. I might wrap it up as well. If anyone has no, I think I'll well, at least I have to eat as well. I mean, it's like 4 hours past my dinner time normally, or 3 hours. So I'll be having some dinner soon. So if anyone has still questions, then you can shoot away. I'll try to answer them, and then I'll just make some dinner. The Solo, it's the Focusrite Solo. It's a preamp and sound card. That's the red box you see on the desk. Well, not on this desk, but it's called Solo because it only has one mic input, I guess. But you can get away with a cheaper setup just if you want to know some stuff. I mean, you don't have to buy something like this. You can always buy something like this later on. I sold my UMIC as well. Yeah. So I'm gonna wrap it up. I'm gonna have some dinner. Thank you for watching, and well, I'll let you know. I'll probably make another build video about the whole thing. Too bad I didn't wrote down the stuff I encountered during this. But I might watch the stream back myself, so I see what I fucked up and I have to change. Ah, yeah. I believe so, yes. But I must say, lately it's hard to say because there's again fish in it. So, but before it was like really smelly, so it did help. But still, I mean, it's not very. You know, having high voltage things in your fridge is not ideal. Maybe look for a commercial product. You got some cheap ones as well you can buy and use and try for yourself. It should work, but it leaves another kind of weird smell, ozone smell. Not as terrible as fish, that's for sure, but so yeah, I'll see you around, guys. Thanks for watching, and until next time. Bye-bye. Bye.